recording.
Hello, I'm Jamie from the Forge. We're going to give you a really quick demonstration about how to light your fires and how to keep them running at the correct temperature so that you have a nice cozy tent. Yes. Okay, so you're going to control your fire through 3 different settings. You're going to control it through the ashtray. That'll allow loads of oxygen in, so it's going to get your fire going really well. That's your main port of call for getting the fire going. And then you've got a little vent above the door, and then you've also got this baffle plate here. Yeah. So to light your fire, you want everything open. So we're going to pull that ashtray out about a third to a half of the way through. We're going to open the vents above the doors, and then we're going to have this baffle plate vertical. So when that handle's vertical, it means that there's a round disc in there that is vertical as well. So you're going to get maximum airflow through the stove and get your fire nice and warm. We're also going to use this flue thermometer to make sure that we can maintain the stove at the best temperature. Yeah. So we've opened everything up. Third out, open, vertical, and then we're going to light our fire. So we only really need 1 fire lighter to do this. So we're going to pop the fire lighter in, and then we need about 5 or 6 bits of kindling, and all we're going to do is we're going to pop them on the back, and we're going to rest them on top of the fire lighter in a V shape. So a fire likes height, yeah, heat likes to rise, so the more height you can get in a fire, the better it's going to work. Those go back in there. So 5 or 6 bits, that's all you need. Light your match, let it get going, and then pop it in and light your fire lighter. And then just add your match back in there as well. Yeah, don't blow it out, just leave it in there. And then we're going to close the door. And now we've got a bit of time. We're going to wait. We'll come back to you in a second. We'll show you when the fire is raging, but have this out a third to halfway, vent open, that vertical, little V fire on top of 1 fire lighter. Job's a good one. Brilliant. So it's been about 5 minutes now, and we've just left everything open, maximum airflow, and you can see in here that now what we've got is we've got the sticks at the top, the kindling sticks at the top are starting to set alight. So now we're good to go with adding our main logs. What you want to do is you don't want to chuck in your biggest logs first. I've selected a few of the nice thinner bits, and they are going to go in first. So we're going to open the door. The stove's not going to be hot yet, yeah, but if you're worried, just use the glove. You can open it right up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of bits of wood either side, and they will burn, they'll insulate the fire, and they'll get it going really well. So what we're doing now is we're putting all the wood in the same way, so it's a parallel fire. It burns really hot, really well, and then you can just pop your bits of stick on top. So I've put 4 in. Whoa, let's get another bit. Pop it in. That's about all you need, yeah? 4 or 5 bits of wood. And again, what we're going to do is just shut it down. Close the door, but leave everything open. You can see that going like crazy now. And what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at the stove thermometer, and it's not even registering 100 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. Let's do it in Celsius. So it's not even about 80 degrees Celsius. We want to get it up to about 150, basically into the green. Yeah, so we're going to come back in a few minutes once we're up to temperature, and we'll go from there. Yeah, brilliant. Right, let's probably been 3 or 4 minutes. The fire's absolutely raging, and if you can see here, if you can zoom in, Lewis, yeah, you'll see that the temperature is up about 180 degrees now. Yeah, so but you want it in the green. Don't worry about the temperature, it doesn't matter about the temperature, just make sure it's in the green. And actually it's just firing up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start closing it down, and that means you're going to burn less fuel and it's just going to stay hot for ages. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to close it down from the bottom up to the top. So we're going to push that in, and then we're going to close that down there. And I don't know if you can see that, but instantly it's just, the fire slowed right down. And then you can just let it tick over like that. So those are your main points of closing it down. If you want to really close it down, then what you can do is you can get this baffle plate at the top, get the handle, turn it over so it's vertical. Sorry, so it's horizontal. So your baffle plate's like that. There's little gaps all the way around it, so you're not going to starve the fire. Air will get through, but it'll just mean when you go to bed, you can put the fire on, get it nice and roasting, close everything down, and you're going to get the maximum burn time for the logs. And if you are going to go to bed, just stuck a few more on, close it right down, and it should last you sort of 3 or 4 hours. But what you want to make sure is save some kindling and save some logs for the middle of the night, because if it is cold, then yeah, you can get up, you can get your fire going, and then you're absolutely toasty. Fantastic. One last thing, yeah, if it's burning too low for too long, what will happen is the spark arrestor outside will clog up with sort of not burnt off wood, yeah, and it will clog up the spark arrestor, and if it does that for long enough, then you'll clog the flue up, and smoke will start billowing back into the tent. We constantly are checking the spark arrestors when we come around every day, just to make sure that's not happening. But if there are any issues, give us a ring. If you burn it too hot for too long, this flashing kit here will start to split and perish, and yeah, and it means that they don't last. And last year, yeah, they only lasted about 8 weeks, and really we want to try and extend the life, because it's not very sustainable. You can see now that the fire's getting quite, it's looking like it needs a bit more air. Yeah, we're hovering around, we're hovering in the green, but it is starting to drop a little bit. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put that to vertical. I can already hear it starting to build back up, and then I'm going to open that. I'm not going to open the ashtray. So when you want to open it up, top down. When you want to close it down, bottom up. And then the flames are starting to come back now. So just keep an eye on that stove thermometer and play around with it. Play around with these, and you're going to get a really nice cozy fire. Enjoy your stay, guys.